new concept called the BRT lane, and
don't be. You've been on about this BRT thing for a long
I just
time.
want to understand that there are three questions I have with the BRT lane issue. Are we going to see the end of this BRT lane matter? Because I speak as a skeptic. Public works, public projects, never see the end of a public project.
What do you mean by see the end?
It will be finished.
Oh, okay.
How it will be used.
Okay.
And we will see the usefulness as opposed to normal white elephant projects we have. That's number one. Two, I've always wanted to understand why it is on some lanes, like on initially when it started off, it was on what is called the wrong side of the road. So to speak, where the door to the bus will be actually mean you have to jump into the water to get off. That's the second one. And then the third question I have with the BRT lane matter and the whole concept is, do we have enough buses to cover so that we can now phase out our Molwe and Danfo?
Okay. Do you want to take all the BRT questions at the same time or take them in bits and pieces?
It depends on the way you want to structure.
I have the ball. You are prepared. Okay. Can I just ask a few more questions? You see, I live in Maryland and I am a victim of what is going on Ikorodu Road. And unless I am enlightened as to how it will benefit me on the long run, I feel that I've been attacked. I feel attacked because every day I sit through humongous traffic. My roads, they've broken and unbroken, patched and unpatched. I don't understand what's going on anymore. I've spoken to friends of mine in that kind of business. They're saying, even when it is finished, the roads will creep. One. Two, the volume of traffic on Ikorodu Road, that really is not about reducing the lanes. Shouldn't be about expanding the lanes. And then I noticed that the docks that take water away from the road, the docks that take water, they are on the extreme right, of depending on where you're coming from, of the road, the way it used to be. But in demarcating the BRT lane, they have blocked the docks. Before Papa, the docks wasn't working. Now they have blocked the docks. So it means that one would require a canoe in that place eventually. I'm
very nice. So you can say
I'm being very nice. So these are the questions, because people knew I was going to do this show, and it's my responsibility to tell you what people's concerns are. These are a few of the questions, sir.
Let me thank the producer for bringing me on, and also want to thank the viewers for staying on this program. First,
they always do, actually.
Thank you very much. Let me clarify this point. Lagos State government, in the past 8 years, have not been known for abandoned projects. When we start a project, we get it to completion. So just on that principle, the BRT transit system will be completed on course.
You are sure?
100% sure.
So all our suffering is not in vain.
Now, that takes us to the next question. Will the BRT system solve all our transportation traffic problem? That is a question that cannot be answered with yes or no. But the BRT system will take a lot of pressure away from the traffic system. And that will make the traffic control system, traffic movement system, human traffic, goods traffic, more efficient. And that the current government will supplement with additional rail traffic alternative and waterway traffic alternative. So it's not a single approach that solves traffic system anywhere in the world. It's a combination of so many things. And the BRT system will address the one that has to do with road traffic system. Then the rail traffic system will join. Then we're going to have the water traffic system. Now, if you look at Lagos...
I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm sorry. I'm also thinking, because I'm really believing that this rail will come to pass now. I've had a lot of talk about it, and I'm choosing to believe that it's going to come to pass, as well as the waterways. But in the interim, the volume, the number of cars on the roads and all of that, it seems to me, from layman, I'm only a layman. I don't even remember what I studied in university anymore, so I don't know for sure. However, it seems to me that what looks like what might work would be to widen the roads or have more roads, if possible build roads on roads, I don't know, but a narrowing of the road. Okay. Because since you are still on that issue, I just thought to raise that issue because it seemed like the BRT thing is a narrowing of, and I know that Mr. Muiz Banare would also contribute because when it started, he started it.
Okay, thank you for even bringing that in. I'm actually going to address that. You see, when you look at the BRT system as it is being designed now, and as it is all over the world, where it is becoming the trend now, Lagos roads were already built up. It's not as if we have started constructing those roads. So before you see those lanes demarcation, there were actually a detailed consulting research that looks as the best option. So what we have now, you cannot, if we go to winding the roads, that's creating more monsters. So we have to work with what we have. And with what we have, it's already been simulated and tested that it's going to work. What you have is, once you have the BRT lane, that is moving at the fast lane, and it's mostly going to be commercial buses. That is the accredited BRT buses. Mm-hmm. BRT buses are different from ordinary buses. They must be able to take a large...
Those long ones with the curtains, red curtains.
Yeah, the curtains are good, you know, so that you can feel executive like when you're in. Yeah, that is good. You see, we are taking Lagos to the next level. We want people, while they are riding either in private vehicle or in the public vehicle, to smile, be comfortable, and enjoy the ride, rather than the one we have now.
Shouldn't they be seeing the beautiful view of the oceans of Lagos?
That is optional. You can move away the curtain.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
So when the BRT lane eventually, when the BRT traffic system eventually comes on, what you see is the amount of people that will move at a time will be like twice or thrice what we normally move with the small buses. Mm-hmm. Now, two, they are moving fast. And that will make people like me and you, who are used to flashing our BMW and the rest.
I know, you got one.
I know a lot of Nigerians have a lot of flashy cars. I've seen more flashy cars on Nigerian roads than I've seen in the U.S. I can tell you that.
I drive the Lemon. It's not flashing. And it's called the Lemon for a purpose.
Okay, lemons too are good, provided that they are being driven by people like you.
Okay.
We know you just call them lemon. We know they are something else.
Okay.
Now, when you have that, you are moving a lot of people at a time. Mm-hmm. And the amount of buses that come is constant. Right. So people will be encouraged naturally to up onto the BRT system. Right. Then you will have less cars on the road. When you have less cars on the road, you reduce the vehicular traffic. When you reduce the vehicular traffic, you reduce traffic congestion. That is the concept of BRT all over the world. Now, with our own buses, we have so many of those combi buses, 17-seaters, 12-seaters. When you have a BRT with like 42 to 53 seaters, moving at a very fast lane, you can get to Lagos Island from Ikorodu in like 20 minutes. Which one will you prefer?